everyone. أنا عايزة أبدأ الأول بإن أنا أسألكوا كذا سؤال كده. هي already السؤال ده اتسأل بس عايزة أشوف hands المرة دي. Raise your hand if, as a child, you were asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? Okay, everyone. And I think the ones who are not raising their hand is just because they're lazy, because I'm sure everyone was asked this question. طيب, raise your hand if your answer back then is what you ended up studying. Cool. Nice. Okay, معلش هتعبكم معايا بس. Raise your hand if you know exactly where you want to be and what you want to be doing after 5 years from today. Nice. Now, the last one. I promise this is the last one. Raise your hand if questions like these, what do you want to be when you grow up, or where do you see yourself in 5 years, bring you a little bit of anxiety. Yeah, everybody. Me too. Me too. It brings me a lot of anxiety. And the problem is not because I don't have an answer. The problem is because I have a lot of them, a lot of answers. My name is Iman Askar. I'm a GUC Business Informatics graduate. It doesn't matter which year. I stopped counting, بصراحة. Anyways, today I'm a copywriter, scriptwriter, singer, songwriter, voiceover artist, actress, teacher, video editor, content creator, and I hate this word, but I'm considered an influencer, and a wife and a mom of 2. And today I'm a public speaker. I need to add that to the list. And it took me 15 years of studying and working to realize that what I want to do with my life as a grown-up is exactly what I wanted to be doing with my life as a child. So many things. In the next 15 minutes, I will tell you a story that is about me, but by the end of it, it could be about you too. So are you ready to hear my story? Are you ready to hear my story? Yeah, that's much better. Okay. So, as a child, I've always had different answers to the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Sometimes I would say a teacher, sometimes a journalist, or an actress, or a musician. I used to always write songs when I was a child. But that's not a problem, right? I mean, every child does that. And when you ask a child this question, usually it's to trigger cute answers like, I want to be a ballerina, or I want to be an astronaut. And it's a very good inspiration for Halloween costumes. But nobody really cares about the answer that you give them. The problem is, when I grew up, I was not a child anymore, and I had to pick one major, I still had different answers. I used to write in my diary, I want to make a difference in the world, but how am I going to do that if I can't even figure out what I want to be doing with my own life? So, according to society, I was lost. And because all of my talents and skills and passions could more or less fit under the category of art, I did the right thing, and I considered them all hobbies. And I pursued a real career, and thus business informatics. Great field, by the way. It's awesome. Really, really good field with really good pay. Any business informatics students in the house? Great. Cool. Guys, you're going to do great. All my friends are having amazing jobs right now, I promise. For me, I did great too. I had 2 articles published in journals with my name next to the deans, and I graduated with honors, only to realize that business informatics is just not my thing. So I did what any smart girl would do, and I applied for masters in business informatics. I mean, I didn't know what to do. I was stuck. And the GUC was my comfort zone. And I was so embarrassed to go tell my parents that after 4 years of studying and taking your money, I'm just not gonna work with this major anymore. So I was stuck. I just spent a whole year waiting for something to happen. And something did happen. A job opportunity, a very interesting job opportunity revealed itself to me. And I accepted it. I embraced my super early career shift. and I went for it. This opportunity was a job in a company called Nutty Scientists. It was a franchise that creates science shows for children. I used to wear costumes and pretend I'm an evil scientist or a crazy professor and teach children science in super fun ways. It was a super fun job. It satisfied my passion for acting and my passion for teaching. And even later on, it satisfied my passion for writing as well, because I became the one writing the scripts for the shows. So it was really, really awesome. I'm like, you know what? I found my thing. I'm so excited about children education. At that time, I was pregnant with my daughter. So I took courses about positive discipline, and I took diploma in Montessori education. Like, you know what? I found my thing. It's education. 5 years later, I got promoted into the managing director of the company. And then a few months after that, I quit and back to square zero. Why? Well, I just figured that education as a field, like being trapped in education, it's not really my thing. Still, not the one. I still have more. So back to square zero. And then I had my third job. It was in a media production company. It was in the media industry. I worked as a copywriter and an occasional voiceover artist and a member of the creative teams of Axir Studio and Girafix. Girafix is an animation company under Axir Studio. Super cool job. I learned a lot about the media industry, a lot about the production process, and I enjoyed it so much. Fast forward 5 years. I just felt I really still love the job. I almost do everything I used to do there on freelance basis now. But the problem is, I just felt that there's just a few more talents that are not unleashed yet. And I need to do that before it's too late. Why too late? Because that was in 2020, and let's be honest, it did seem like the world was coming to an end. So I'm like, this is it. I have to do something now. So I left my job, back to square zero. But see, 5 years here, 5 years there, 5 years there, like I take my time, but anyways. So here I am in 2020. I have no job, I have no idea what I'm going to do, and I have 2 kids at that time, and I'm trying to survive e-learning, and I'm trying to survive my anxiety about a pandemic, which I still have, unfortunately. I'm trying to not break down in front of my kids. I'm trying to give them an ordinary childhood while still keeping them safe. It was impossible with these circumstances to apply for a new job. But to me, it was also impossible to not let my creative energy out. And this is when I started a totally, completely new journey. This is when I decided I will start my own YouTube channel and my own Instagram page and other platforms. And I literally let it all out. Singing, acting, storytelling, and it's all under the purpose of teaching people about stories that matter. Everything. I can do whatever I want. It's my channel, and I can do however I want. So I finally found something that puts all my passions, no matter how unrelated they are, together in one place. But, but there was just one thing. To be considered a successful content creator, I need to have at least 10,000 followers on Instagram and at least 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, more or less. And after 7 months of hard work, I learned everything. I learned filming and video editing and lighting, and I did everything on my own. And I only have, at that time, 3,000 followers on Instagram and about less than 500 subscribers on YouTube. It was a little bit disappointing as a creator and someone who has creative energy, and I need an audience, right? So I remember last summer, there was one day we were at the beach, and I took this time alone by myself. I went into the sea, and I laid on my back in the sea, letting the waves move me. I'm kidding, it was the Red Sea, it was technically a pool. But I was having a breakdown. I started crying while I remember that day very well. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Am I so ridiculous that I'm trying to fulfill all my potentials and find all my passions? Is the internet oversaturated? I mean, should I just pursue an sorry, should I pursue a normal job? Is it ridiculous that I quit all of these? Am I too old to have another career shift now? I mean, if I had this YouTube channel 10 years ago, I swear I would have been the boss of the internet, but that's not the case. So what do I do? And I was just so demotivated at that point. But a good thing is, it didn't stop me. I went back home from this vacation with the intention of, you know what, maybe I should just start considering settling for just a normal, like, ordinary job. I don't have to let all my energy or creative energy out. And I'm still gonna do whatever I'm doing on my channels just to, you know, let my creativity out, okay? And little did I know that 1 week, exactly 1 week from that day I had the breakdown. And I'm not exaggerating, I swear it was 1 week, like this was, I think it was a Tuesday, and then the very following Tuesday, not only would I be having the 10,000 followers I wanted on Instagram, I'd be having 100,000 followers on Instagram, I'll be having 15,000 subscribers on YouTube, and many, many more on my other platforms. I would have never, ever imagined that I'd be featured on The Independent, on BBC Radio, on CBC, on Al Arabiya, Al Jazeera, Sada Al Balad, like, and many more. What? Me? Huh? I'm someone who has no idea what she's doing in her life. How can this happen 1 week from today? Well, the obvious reason, and the easy to understand reason, is because I had this super crazy viral video that I made this day that had like more than 11 million views in less than 2 days. But the real reason is that I didn't stop. The real reason is that I didn't quit. The real reason is that I had all my experiences that I learned throughout my journey, and I used them. And then it paid off overnight. I don't believe in overnight success, as in somebody does something and then it just booms like that. But I do totally believe in overnight paying off, where you work hard, and you're not seeing what's like, when am I gonna make it, and then suddenly whoosh, it pays off. I don't know if you've seen this video. It's the story of Palestine. Maybe we can play it right now, or a part of it, so that you can
There
watch it.
once was a land called Palestine, where Christians, Muslims, and Jews lived fine. In the 1800s, it was ruled by the Ottoman Empire. Meanwhile, a bearded guy founded Zionists for Jews to aspire, a land that becomes their home and safe only for their kind. Then there was World War I that ended when the Allies won, and England was like, hey, this beautiful land is totally mine. Still the name was Palestine, even though it was colonized, and a promise for a Zionist state was made by a man that had no right. Then more and more Jews arrived seeking refuge, and that's alright, until their plan to steal the land was no longer to hide. The year was 1948 when Israel bullied its way into a state. Thousands of Palestinians fled their homes to survive. No right for return, no right for a home, no right to fight for the land that they owned. Israel expanded more and more into an apartheid. Where is your humanity? Where is your respect for dignity? Call it conflict, that's insanity. It's time to change your mind. One day Palestine will be free, so be on the right side of history. You're not anti-Semitic if you stand against war crimes. Don't be brainwashed by the news. Now you can see for yourself the truth. Learn about the story of Palestine.
Thank you. You see, this 1.5 minute video that got viral and got me from where am I gonna get an audience to what am I gonna do with all of this audience is I used everything I've learned in my journey in that 1.5 minute video. Everything. I researched and I summarized and simplified information. I put it in a storytelling format. I sang, I filmed it, I edited it, I posted on social media with the intention of teaching the world. I did it all in one project. And now I am so happy that I can go tell my 18-year-old self that we did it. We did make a difference in the world. Maybe it's tiny, maybe there's still more, but it's doable. It's doable as long as you have the intention and you trust your journey. And this is one of 3 lessons that I want to share with you before I end my talk today. The lesson number 1 is trust your journey. You could be someone who knows exactly what they want in their life. They have one straightforward goal, and that's fine. Let this talk be just an interesting insight about someone else's journey. But you can be someone like me, having different passions, different talents, and you cannot tolerate the idea of not pursuing them all. Nothing is wrong with you. Because, lesson number 2, multi-potentiality exists. There is a name for us, guys. People who have several talents or several passions and they're capable of pursuing them all, they're called multi-potentialites. And that's not like a real new discovery. It's always been there. Al-Khwarizmi, he was a mathematician and a writer and an astronomer. Leonardo da Vinci, he was an artist and an inventor and a writer. If you read about it more, you'll find musicians who are doctors in the morning and dancers who are teachers, and anybody can do anything. Multi-potentiality exists, okay? But it's hard. It's not easy. And it needs a lot of patience and trusting your journey, and also believing that the passage of time, the time it will take you, the long process it will take you to find the way to put all of these passions together or to do them at the same time, the passage of time does not necessarily mean the loss of opportunity. Because lesson number 3, overnight paying off is real, like I just said. You work hard, you take your time, and then it will pay off. It will never be as if you're starting from scratch every single time. And for me, at least my passions or skills were somehow related and could be under, storytelling or art. For you, it could be totally 2 different things. Just trust your journey, because multi-potentiality exists, and overnight paying off is real. Do your thing, be you. The world needs you, every single talent and skill within you. Thank you. Thank you so much.